Let's understand the agenda of today. So we would have a quick discussion on what is automated trading and why is it recommended to automate your trades. And then we would jump into the heart of the webinar, which is the process of automation, where we would start with a high-level overview of that. And we would spend some time, in fact, most of the time of this webinar with an example. And we would take a real-time example of automated trading using Python. We would also place live orders and see how the automation is done. And we would end the webinar with best practices and also Q&A. So we would have a Q&A session also at the end of the webinar. So let's move ahead. Let's close the basics first, which is what is automated trading. So not sticking to any technical definition, but the whole idea is an intuitive level. So if you want to automate a trade, you would first write a strategy logic, and your code will be able to send buy and sell orders to the broker. Essentially, this is what happens in automation at a high level. But if you go in depth, you would also do your data analysis, you would also do your backtests, etc. But essentially, when somebody says they want to automate trade, this is the first objective of theirs, to create a trading logic so that the buy and sell orders can be automatically sent to broker. Now, why should you automate your trades? And I'm sure most of you would have thought about it and you have your own answers. Let's generalize it. Let's take a case. Let's take a case of two traders, John and Mary, who want to just deploy this very basic strategy of a closing price greater than or less than a moving average. Let's say this is the strategy they want to deploy. And John is taking the route of a manual trade and Mary is just automating the trade. Let's compare the scenarios and let's understand why we should automate by studying these two approaches. So in case of John, so he had to continuously monitor a trade. I'm sure most of you or some of you would have already manually traded. So this is what happens when you manually trade. You place an order and I know we place an order and move to search for another signal or another trade, but time to time we would come back to our trading position and see how the position is working out, whether it is profitable or not. We might see our mark to market, etc. This is a common behavior with a trader. And before going into a discussion of whether a trade should be continuously monitored or not, but this is a general behavior a trader like John does when they're automating, when they're not automating, in fact, when they're manually doing. So that would lead to a tricky scenario of us changing the order. See, many of the traders have shared this. Once they place their order, especially the manual traders, they have their risk management. Like most of the traders who are into trading would have their stop loss, etc. But because of this continuous monitoring of the trade, they would change their stop loss. They would in fact change their orders or change the quantity, etc. They might take certain decisions that were not there in the plan. And also how much ever planned you are, you can only do limited number of trades because you're a manual trader. As humans, we have limitation and we could only monitor few trades and we could only enter into few number of stocks, even if you have a basic strategy like John has here. But when it comes to Mary, she need not continuously monitor the trade. She can actually automate the processes and automate the scenarios also and define steps to be taken at certain scenarios. For example, she could create a scenario where if the profit is more than 20% on the capital that was invested, come out of the trade. That could be one scenario where John would have taken n number of decisions. He might over trade it, he might take another position, etc. But here, since Mary is automating the scenarios, so there would be no emotional decisions that would be made. And that's the reason why a complete emotional bias would be avoided when you automate. And also, since this is an automation, you can scale across multiple assets. For example, John might be trading only on equities, and if he had to trade on commodities, he might have to move the market, or he might have to wait for the commodities market to open. And for example, even if he had to trade across futures, options, and equities at the same time, it's very difficult as a human to do it manually. But Mary here, since she is automating, it's very easy for her to scale across multiple assets, and that's how you scale your portfolio as well. And the main reason why we need to automate is to avoid these kind of biases and also to scale across multiple assets and classes. So now let's come to the heart of the presentation, which is what is the process of automation. If you had to automate on a high level, what are the processes you would follow? So the first step would be to establish a connection. First, you would have to see, this is what you do when you're manually trading as well. you would log in into your terminal, right? Even it is an online terminal or an offline terminal, you would log in into it. So that's what you need to do when you're automating as well. You need to establish a connection between the broker and also the code you're writing. Let's say Python, since our presentation is based on Python. So you would want to connect your Python code with the broker and establish a connection, or in a technical term, you need to authenticate the connection. The broker has to authenticate your credentials. And once that is done, generally it's a common process, right? You would get the data. This is what you do when you're manually trading also. After you log in, you open the charts, analyze it, or first get the charts, add the tickers into your watch list, etc. So that is called as getting the data. And while you're automating also, you need to get the data. So you need to get the data from broker. So you will write certain code, which will be shown as we move forward in this webinar. So you would write certain Python code, which would help you extract data from the brokers. Suppose that a natural step would be to decide the trading logic or define the trading conditions. Like once you have the data, you analyze the data. You can analyze through many things. You can analyze through machine learning. You can analyze through, let's say, some statistical analysis, or most commonly technical analysis is used. Or you can also do a number of analysis and then define the conditions which generates a trading signal for you. So for example, as you could see, here the analysis would be between close price and moving average, and if the close price is greater than moving average, that action would be buy. So that's called a trading signal. So, and you would sell, or as per this condition, a sell signal will be generated when the close price is less than moving average. So this is what you do in general as well. When you're manually trading too, you would get the data into charts or some other format, analyze them through whatever process you decided, which is also called strategy. But technically, it's just a process or an analysis method from which you generate a trading signal. So till here, the process is same, but it's just that we need to code this stuff. And once that is done, the trading signal is again sent to broker. So you send the orders to broker. So based on the trading signals, you, for example, if the trading signal is buy is the signal, then you would specify certain things like what kind of order you want to place. Is it a market order, limit order, a stop loss, etc.? And what is the quantity you want to take part in? So with those details, you would send the information to the broker, but you send the information in the format the broker understands. So that again we would see as we move forward in this webinar. After a couple of slides, we will see that with an example how we are going to convert this information into the way the broker understands, and from the broker you would receive a confirmation. That also we would see. So in general, these are the high level steps where you would start by establishing a connection with the broker. After that, you get the data, process the data, generate the trading signals, and send orders to the broker. And getting confirmation from the broker is the last step or the last process that happens in this automation. So let's see how this process happens with an example. So far we have spent some time on what is an automation, or what are the processes that are involved. Before we go with a real-time example, I would want to understand a couple of things. So let me launch a poll and let me know. Just want to understand which option suits you best. There are two options you can see on the screen. The first option is I have developed a strategy and want to automate. The second one is I'm interested in automating trading and would want to automate. So you can reply to that, and accordingly I would page my next part of the webinar. So I could see 50% had already participated in the poll. Let's wait for 10 more seconds and then. So 70% of the audience are interested in automated trading and wanted to get started. So they're still at the starting phase. And 30% of the rest of the audience have already developed a trading strategy and wanted to automate. So now 70% of the people has no strategy at their hand, but they want to learn or get started with automation. and 30% have already developed a strategy, or they have a strategy in mind and they wanted to automate it. So let's move ahead. And okay, since 70% are already interested in automation, let me launch the last poll just to understand what kind of trading platform or broker you're exploring. And post that, we would start with an example. And you could see one more. You can see one more poll on the screen. The options are MT5, Interactive Brokers, TradingView, and Amibroker. So only 2% have voted so far. Please participate in the poll so that we can share more details on the things that are more voted as we move forward in the webinar. Let's wait for 10 more seconds and start with an example. Okay, most of you want to automate using MT5, Interactive Brokers, and TradingView, and I have seen very few people responding or selecting Amibroker, and almost the rest of the three options has got almost same response. So let's go ahead. Let's start with the very first option itself, which is MT5. So now let's spend some time on all brokers, in fact all platforms too, not only on MT5, but let's start with MT5. So let me continue with the webinar. So now let's start with an example. Let's understand how this integration of Python happens with various platforms. And in general, if there should be a communication between broker and Python, there is a straightforward way, which is through broker API. You can use a broker API while you're coding with Python. But this is a complicated way because you need to develop your code from scratch, and it would be a very lengthy code. And the second way is to use a Python wrapper where most of the methods are already written for you. You can just import the methods for the general actions which we do, like getting data, placing orders, etc., and seamlessly integrate with the broker API and communicate with broker. So these are the on a high level, these are the two ways you integrate a broker and a Python. Through broker API, a straightforward way, but you need to build code from scratch, and through Python wrappers, where the functions are already available, the methods are already written, and you just need to use those methods or customize those methods. So let's understand with an example of Python wrapper for MT5. So let's say a live implementation with MT5. So I am just moving to another document, which is a Jupyter notebook. So we will go through all the steps that were discussed so far, but with an example. There are few prerequisites before you actually do this. So the first one is to have a desktop application ready. So you can download from this particular link based on the platform you're using. And I've already downloaded it, and I have MetaTrader ready with me. And this is how the MetaTrader desktop application looks like. And the second one, you need to install Python. And that you can this particular notebook or the document will be shared with you so that you can also explore these links. So you need to install Python since we are coding with Python, and once you install Python, you need to install MetaTrader. So these are the basic prerequisites you would need in terms of installations. And once you've gone through these installations, you need to open a demo account and get the login credentials. So I'm going to show how that is done. So you can I'm sorry. So once you open your desktop platform, you can click on accounts, and you can right click and click on open an account. So this is how you can open an account. You can go to navigator, accounts, and open an account. And by default, MetaQuartz Limited will be selected. You can proceed with that. And post this, you can either open a demo account or a real account. But let's go with the demo account so that we can explore this. And with the demo account, you can fill these details: your first name, last name, email ID, mobile number, etc. And you can also select this option. So if you select this option, you would have hedging. So I'm sure most of you know what hedging is. Basically, you would have margin account, and you can take advantage of leverage. So you just need to fill these basic details and click on agreement. and post that your account will be created instantly. So you can copy the registration information to the clipboard, and using this we will proceed our demo now. So as you could see, I have pasted the same information, the login information like that was just created, which are these. So a login account for login and a password. So this is the demo account I created, and you can also create it instantly. So let's move ahead and let's go through all the steps we have discussed so far and see how it is done in live. So the very first step for any kind of automation, be it MT5, be it MetaTrader, be it interactive brokers, or be it Amibroker or Zerodha or Alpaca, anything. So the first step you do is to establish connection. But before that, get the documentation handy. It's a very good habit to at least go through the documentation and understand what kind of functions we have. And as you could see, this is the documentation of MT5, like Python MetaTrader 5. And there are certain functions. For example, there is a function called initialize, which is used to establish a connection with MetaTrader terminal. So like that, there are functions for every action you would have to take, and we would use the functions that are there from this particular link. And as we move forward, I'm going to show them also and practically. So the very first step is to establish a connection. So for that, we are going to use the same login ID and password we got by registering the account, and we would just use an initialize method. So the very method we have seen from the documentation, the initialize. So using this, by giving the details, as you could see, the initialization is successful. So what if I give a wrong password, it give me a initialized failed message, and also it get a audible notification also. But once I give the right password, right details, as you could see a chime, and also the message is initialization successful. So in general, this is what we do when we are manually trading. And when we are manually trading, we would enter into our platform, be it web-based or offline. We would enter our login ID and password, and if once the authorization happens, then we would move forward. And as a natural step, we would want to check how much money we have in our accounts and if we have any positions open. So that's what you can do by using the method account info. So there is this function account info that is already built. Since we are using this Python wrapper, which is an official Python wrapper by MetaTrader, that's the reason the name is MetaTrader 5. And since we are using that, we can use the methods that are already there. By using the account info method, by running this code, you can get the current information. See, currently I'm not holding any positions, so profit is 0, and I have $99,996.88 in equity, and there is no amount that is held for margin, and the entire amount is free. So I can see the same thing here as well. If I go to the platform, I can see the same thing. The current balance is this, which is exactly what we have seen here. And also free margin. I have almost all, in fact, entire amount, entire balance is free from margin. So we have done the very basic steps that we do even in manual trading. So the next step is to get the data. Here is an interesting part. So when we are doing manually, there is 1 minute data which we are used to, 15-minute data, daily data, etc. But programmatically we can resample into any data we want. Like you can get the data like 1 minute data and resample it to, let's say, 5 minute, 20 minute, 30 minute, etc. But interestingly, with the Python wrappers, they give you many options. For example, there is a method called copy rates from. So this is the method you use to get data, but it needs certain input, right? It needs certain information to get the data. So the very first information is symbol. Even when you are manually trading, and if you're searching for a chart, the first thing you input is the symbol. So let's try for Euro AUD, Australian dollar, and the time frame. What frequency of data you want. If it is daily data, you can use this method. If it is hourly, you can use this method. And there are methods for many time frames. So let's use daily and end time. So in general, end time would be, you can define an end time. So currently the end time is defined as the current time. And how how far into the history you want, I mean how many data points you want. For example, if I give the time frames as daily and if I give end data as 20, I would get the past 20 days information. Let's see how it works. So I have run this code, and as you could see, there is some information I got in the form of an array, and this is not clear. In fact, I could see the first data type is time, but this is not clear. This is in the form of Unix, and the second one is open price, then the high, low, close, tick volume. But anyway, this is not clear for me because this is just in a form of an array. So we have created a function. You can directly use this function and get the same data. So let me get daily data. So you can use the same function that is created in the name of fetch 4x data, and I've just used that function. And that function also uses the method that is there in the documentation. It's just that I've taken care of the conversion of the time, which comes in Unix format. We have changed into date time format so that we can understand. We also defined the time zone. Currently, US Eastern time zone is defined. So now it is much clear. So we got the same information, but it's just that the data is clear now. And currently, let's just check for same. Yes. So I was checking for Euro AUD with this particular method, and we got this information in the form of array. Now we have used this custom function created and then got the information for the same symbol, and now it is more structured. Now I can clearly see what date and time the data belongs to, which is open, high, low, close, and volume 2. So you can get data of other contracts also. For example, if you go to MetaTrader platform, you can see some contracts here. For example, GBP USD. I can also search for GBP USD and I get the information. But this is daily. I can also get 1 minute data. As you could see, this is 1 minute data now. This is live data, and this is data for today, and this is live. And in fact, interestingly, I can get 10-minute data, 12-minute, 2-minute, 20-minute. There are lots of methods that are available. This is a common feature for all the Python wrappers, and you can get any kind of data. You can choose the time frames you want, and accordingly you can get the data. So naturally, once you get the data, the next, please don't mind this chimes. So that is from the trading platform, since we are just connected. So once you get the data, you can also get the tick data. I'm not going over tick data now. You can explore this once you get hold of this particular document. But let's go to the important part, which is defining a trading logic and generating trading signals. So this is the reason why we automate, right? So let's understand that. So you can see, this is the place where see, last time when I launched a poll, 70% of the people have said they have already explored, like they don't want to explore strategies now. They don't have a strategy ready, but they want to focus on automation. And 30% have already had strategies. So this is the place where you make most of the difference or most of the impact. And because the entire profitability depends on the strategy you pick. But as of now, for this demo, I'm showing you an example strategy. And let's take an example strategy that is quite understandable by most of you guys, which is a moving average crossover. So I've taken pretty arbitrary numbers like 5 and 10, and I would want to generate trading signals based on moving average 5 and moving average 10. And based on the crossover, if the 5 moving average is greater than 10 moving average, I want to buy. And in other case, I would want to sell. So this is the basic strategy I've written. And as we move forward into the webinar, we would also see how to get hold of other strategies too. And as you could see, I've used the same methods that we discussed so far. I've used this particular function to get the data and just calculated the moving averages and generated a signal. For example, if I run this, you can see I've generated a sell signal. So essentially, it generates a sell signal when 5 moving average is above 10 moving average. That's what happened here. But we don't stop here. Let's also place some orders. So understanding trading logic and generating signals is not where we stop, but we do place orders too. You can place orders very easily. There are, if you go to documentation, you can see several methods that can help you to place orders. So you can see here how to place orders. But let's we have created a function for you, because to place orders you need lots of information. You, even when you're manually trading, you would place an order by giving an information of the symbol, number of lots you want to trade, and whether the order type is buy or sell, and do you want, at what price you want to trade, and etc etc. So this function takes care of all the default methods that should be filled, and you just need to give the symbol and the lot. So that's how there are two functions that were built for you for your practice, which is place buy order, place sell order. So you can practice with this. I would also show you how it is done. For example, so let us use the method by place order, and let's give a symbol, and let's give some size. So if I run this, now I could see a message saying order placed successfully, and I've got an order ticket number. So I'm going to trading platform, and I just want to check whether the order has been placed or not. And as you could see, the order number is this 150, and it ends with 748. And you can see the same order on the trading platform, and the order has been placed, and that's a buy order. That's what we did. We placed a buy order for USD CHF. So let's try something. Let's place an order for, you guys can type it out. You guys can type it in the chat what forex symbol you want to. You can see Euro USD, GBP, Great Britain Pound USD, USD CHF, which is Swiss franc, Japan. Let's place some order. Let me see the chat. You guys can type in the chat, and let's try to place some orders and see if the platform is picking the orders or not. Okay. So people want the USD. Okay, there are many things. Like, yeah, the most recent one was Great Britain Pound USD. Okay, Mr. Ganesh want to see if he could do this. So let's see. You want GBP USD, right? So I guess 4 or 5 people wanted to see if he could place order. So Great Britain Pound USD. Yes, so we have successfully placed order. So let's see, we have placed a buy order on Great Britain Pound and USD for a lot of 0.01. So we can see it here for the symbol GBP USD. We have placed an order just a moment ago, a buy order, and with a volume of 0.01. So this is how you place orders. So let's place one more order. Let's place a sell order. Let me go through the chart and see what other things. Okay, people want Euro USD, which is quite popular. So let's, do we have a Euro USD already placed? No. So let's place a sell order for Euro USD now. Let's see. So order has been placed. Now we placed a sell order. So you can see it's in red, which is a sell order, which is Euro USD just placed, and it's a sell order. So this is how we can place orders very easily using a Python wrapper. And this is not common. This is not only for MT5. This is common for all the trading platforms which provides Python wrapper. And we are going to see how it is done as we move forward. But why not? Why don't we use the strategy that we have, right? So far, we have a basic strategy, moving average crossover, which is generating a sell signal. So let's use this. So I've written some code. So I've written, like, if this particular function, the strategy for this symbol gives a buy signal, then let's place a buy order. So we use the same methods that we tried out so far. Let's place a buy order. If the strategy gives you a sell signal, and then let's place a sell order. So I'm just okay, I just ran it now. It is placing a sell order, and the ticket ID ends with 31. Yes, it is here. So there are orders that are continuously placed. If you want, you can also change the symbols and see how the orders are being placed. So see, I'm just going to this particular desktop platform to show you that the orders are placed on live, but you don't need to again and again open the desktop platform, right? So you can also monitor your positions by using this method called positions_get. So I'm running this code just to see how many positions I have. As you can see, I have 4 positions, And even if I go to my trading platforms, I could see I have 4 positions. And let's go through, see, let's run it again. And currently the profit is 0.2 and it's about 0.2. And it's quite dynamic and it's quite live. And I can actually go through entire information here, the symbols, the same thing we placed here. So I can not only place orders, I can also do the things that I do in general when I am manually trading. This is what I do when I'm manually trading, and I'm sure others too, to go through their positions and see. I can do certain data analysis also on this. For example, I can, if I want to close all these positions, I can close one position after another. This is what we do generally, right? If you're manually trading, you might click on close and close one position after another. And you can also do it. We have provided a code for you to close existing positions. It's just a loop that goes through each row of this data. Currently, we have this data saved. Let me just run this and show you. So the data is shown, saved in the data frame data with 4 orders. So we can just write a for loop which goes through each order. And if the order is a buy order, it would place a sell order and close it. And if the order is a sell order, it would place a buy order and close it. So that's what happens here. It is checking the positions from the data. And if the position is buy, it is placing a sell order to close the position. And if in other case, it is placing a buy order. So let's run this. And I've run this code, and you could see I got 4 messages that these 4 orders have been closed, and these are the information of the orders that were used to close this position. So essentially, we should not have any orders now. As you could see, the orders are gone. Now we don't hold any position because we have closed the existing positions. So as you could see, if I monitor my positions now, it says no positions found. So this is how you can automate every step of the manual trading you do, and also could do it much faster and efficiently according to the way you code it. For example, you don't need to write this big loop. You can also close a single order too. Let's do this simple exercise. Let me go to your charts and pick up a contract that is widely asked to place an order. Okay, so again, Euro USD. Let me place a buy order and just see how the single order can be closed. So earlier we had no orders. Now I just placed a buy order for Euro USD. As you could see, I have a single order here. And let's see how to close this single order. So I can copy the order ticket number, and you can check this code, which is at very end of the notebook, which is close single position. So I can just give us the order ID of a single position, and if I run this code, you can see I can run the single code, and now I could see position has been closed successfully with this order ticket. And if I go to the platform now, I'm left with no orders. So these are the general steps you do to get the data. Let me go to the presentation. So in general, these are the steps you do to get the data and do analysis, generate trading signals, place orders from broker, and also get confirmation from the broker. That is the most important part. If you could remember, the very first part is to get confirmation from the broker about the authentication, right? You get authenticated by the broker, and at every step you get a confirmation or a message from the broker that the step is done. So now we have seen an example, a live one with MetaTrader, and it's an example of a Python wrapper. You can also do it similarly with an API too, and MetaTrader gives you an API, which is a Meta API. It's a broker API, and you just need to follow the methods that were given in that documentation. So for example, if you want to do it for interactive brokers, there are multiple ways to do, and you can use a broker API, which is TWS. For example, let's go to the example of MT5 we discussed in depth. So as you could see, I've installed MetaTrader 5 because I'm dealing with MetaTrader. That's the reason I've installed the desktop application of MetaTrader Python, and then installed a Python package related to MetaTrader. What if I have to do with interactive brokers, right? Then I need to install Traders Workstation. I would install Traders Workstation. I would install Python, of course, and I would install a Python method that is used by interactive brokers. And the rest of the steps would be same. You still need to establish a connection even if the broker changes. and it would be similar. You just need to go through the documentation to get this particular initialization method. You just need to change this method, nothing else need to be changed. Most of these would stay the same, but you just need to see what is the name of the method for or the function for initializing, and you would use that from interactive brokers. And once you do that, you get your account information the same way. You find the method that is used in the documentation to get the account information and use it here. Similarly, you get the data and place orders. All these things are same. For example, this is a documentation of interactive brokers, and here I could see I have an order method already. This is a documentation with all the methods, and you can go through it. And this is the way I place orders. So there is an order function, and I need to provide these information, and I can place an order. If I had to give a market order, I need to give market type as MKT. If it is a limit order, I need to give order type as LMT. So the same code, you use it here. This is the structure we follow for MT5 according to the documentation of MT5, and you just need to replace this code with the documentation of TWS API by the interactive brokers. So that's how all these steps are same and the processes are same. It's just that the methods you use would change as per the documentation of this particular broker. And for example, if I could move forward, if I have to do with Amibroker, similarly, there are two ways I could do. Either I could use a broker API, which is called AmiPy, or I can also use some third-party Python wrappers. And one example is API Bridge. So I can go through the documentation and repeat the same steps which we have done with MT5. That would act as a very good template for you as you move forward with any kind of broker. And for example, which is Zerodha, which is quite popular in India. And for Zerodha, we have a Kite API. It is from the broker itself. And again, I repeat, we do the same steps. For example, we start by installing the things that are required, and we then establish a connection, right? After we open an account, of course, that is given for all the brokers. So we would establish the connection. So I can go to the documentation of Kite, and this is the Kite documentation. And I follow the same steps like we do. For example, to get the data, we have a method called get historical data. And these are the information I need to view. But what did we do for MT5? To get the data, this is the method we used. We used a method called copy rates from, because the documentation of MT5 says copy rates from is the method that I can get data for specific dates. Okay. But since Kite API is using another method, I would just use this particular method instead of this method of MT5. See, this is how the structures are similar, and it's quite easy when you just go through the documentations and follow the same methods that is explained in this webinar, but use the methods that were specifically mentioned in the relevant documentations. And post this, yeah, this is same for all the brokers. That's the point that is important, but it is a bit different for TradingView. As you guys know, TradingView is a charting and a trading platform. And essentially it is used to analyze charts, and also you can trade from TradingView. This is what happens in the backend. TradingView's capability lets you to chart and also analyze, but to place orders or to send orders, it has to connect with a broker. But it will not give us broker API, since we are retail traders. The API is only for the brokers. So far we have seen several methods where we have access as a retail trader, we have access for APIs, but this particular broker API is given only to the broker, so that broker can perform backend operations with TradingView for the integration. So sadly, there is no complete automation that is possible. There is a part automation possible, which is quite challenging also, and you might have to do several steps. It is not officially supported by TradingView or officially maintained by TradingView. There are certain third-party methods to connect TradingView with Python, etc., but that is a very long road. And sadly, as I said, there is no complete Python-based automation for TradingView, but TradingView supports. Let's go to TradingView. So TradingView uses PineScript, and it's its own coding language where you can create. For example, here I've created a Bollinger Band-based strategy, and PineScript is used if you are creating a strategy or backtesting or for all the purposes. For example, I can create a strategy here, and I can also backtest the same strategy, same Bollinger Band strategy. And if I like the performance, then I can also take it live. This is in a flow. If you log in into the charts of TradingView, you can see it at the bottom where you can create a code in Pine script language, and you can get the strategy tester where you can backtest your strategies, and you can also connect your broker. There are brokers are limited here, but still you can have, like, there are brokers of interactive brokers, etc., etc. So you can also go to explore brokers supported to get to know what broker that is supported by TradingView. And this is how automation is done with TradingView. It's a bit different when compared to the other Python supported platforms. And you can also, I would also give you certain resources as we end the webinar. But if you want to know other brokers, or if you want to know all these things at a single place, you can go to the website Quantra, and you can go to live trading. So there is a page called live trading where you can get more information on live trading and how to backtest, how to get data, etc. And also you can also get information of different brokers. For example, if you have Robinhood account and if you want to automate, how can you do it? All these things, all this information you can get here itself on the page live trading of Quantra, and you can go through it and you can understand how that is done. And if you want to spend more time on iBridge PY, for example, as I was saying, for interactive brokers, let me just put up the slide again. So if you want to automate for interactive brokers, right? So as I said, we have TDWS API, which we have seen an live example of MT5, which is a similar one. You can also use third-party wrappers like iBridge PY. So if you want to explore how to do automated trading using interactive brokers, so you can explore a course called, there is a free course in Quantra. You can enroll to it. It explains all the methods that are used for automation. It has live trading examples for you, and it has the code that is used for this very purpose. You can enroll to this, and you can explore the trading templates that were given, and everything is installation free. You don't need to install anything, especially while learning. And if while implementing, the installations, etc., are explained in this particular free course, and you can go through them. But let's move to the best practices now. Let's understand, now that we understood what are all the ways to automate for different brokers and platforms, let's see the general best practices which you need to keep in mind. And the very first one being understanding the brokers API. This is important. I know most of the code is available online, or we are providing you certain code, but you understanding the brokers API, its capabilities, or the functions that are used will definitely help you to move forward in a most efficient way. And use reliable libraries. There are many third-party Python libraries or wrappers that are available. Instead of banking on them, use the ones officially supported by the broker, which are reliable ones. And of course, you need to have robust error handling. If you remember, when we are coding, like when we are going through our code, and so there is error handling that was added. For example, once I log in here, I get a successful message. But if I give my password wrong, let's say if I gave wrong password, then I got a notification and I didn't get a initiation successful message. I got an initiation failed message. So this is what I mean when I say add an error handling, add a robust error handling, because we are dealing with the live data and also possibly with live money as we move forward. And it would be better to have a data management ready. That means integrating with the different databases. If it is time based, you have InfluxDB. If you want a relationship database, you can also use certain SQL based databases. And it's better to maintain the data rather than calling the data, historical data, again and again for backtest. So if you maintain the data, it's very fast for you, instead of getting the data from the broker and then cleaning the data and then storing it and then using it every single day. It's better to manage the data for yourself. This is the best practice. It's not the practice that should be done, but if it is done, that is efficient. And of course, use a modular design where you would need to break your code into modules, use functions, use classes, etc., so that the piece of code can be reused. And don't forget to backtest your trading strategy before you go live. That's one important part, and of course that comes in strategy development phase. But still, even if you're automating, you might automate this as well, where you would want to backtest your strategy. Last but not least, stick to your compliance and regulation rules of the broker, the exchange, and also the trading place you are in. So based on the exchange, based on the law of the land, please stick to the regulations of automated trading and be compliant. So these are the best practices. And before we go to Q&A, I would like to just tell you, so the main part is the strategy development or choosing the strategy. So all of you guys can explore Quantra. So we have courses of multiple categories. So I know you guys are a mixed combination of people interested in different categories. So some of you might be interested in machine learning, some of you might be interested in news-based or sentiment trading, and I'm sure most of you are interested in options trading. And according to the category you're in, you can explore the courses we have. In fact, we have 50 plus courses, and so we have wide range of offerings across different quantitative finance categories, and everything is completely trading oriented, and they're all practical. And you have trading templates and a piece of codes, and across the courses you have 150 plus strategies to explore. And once you are done with exploring these would be a great addition for any kind of automation. And this is our like a very famous product, which is all courses bundle, where it's a combination of 50 plus courses. You can explore this. And let's jump into Q&A. And we probably I would request Hitesh to explain about the offer and start the Q&A.
Thank you so much, Varun. And before we start off with the Q&A, I would like to highlight that attendees of this webinar can avail this exclusive offer. So you can use a coupon code WEB855. So using this coupon code, you would be able to get 85.5% discount by enrolling in all courses bundle that we have on Quantra. So this is the highest discount possible one can get on all Quantra courses. And I have shared the links in the chat, so make sure that you avail this offer. And in case if you have any doubts, any queries, you need any guidance, you can also book a slot with a course counselor. I have also shared a link of the course counselor in the chat, so you can utilize that. And Varun, I have already shortlisted some of the questions. I have marked them, I have flagged them, and you can basically go through them. And meanwhile, I would also request everyone to also put in more questions so that we can select. I already have received tons and tons of questions, so it may not be possible to answer all of them, but be rest assured that we'll be making sure that all of your questions will be answered. After the event, you will be getting a survey form. So in that survey, do mention those questions which went unanswered, and also help us with some of your preferences. Uh, and we'd be happy to get in touch with you and help you with the questions. So yeah, Varun, do you have any questions? I mean, you can start picking those questions. I'll also shortlist more.
Yes, sure. Let's start with the ones that are shortlisted. The very first one is how to import all the methods to a Python notebook. So it depends on the IDE. So currently, since we are using Jupyter Notebook, you can import all the modules by using an import statement like we did. Let me just show you. For example, as you could see on the screen, I wanted to import these modules. So these were imported. And the next question is, could we also share the Jupyter notebooks for the interactive brokers? So these, as I was saying, you can explore the course automated trading using Python. This is the name of the course. So which will have the code for interactive brokers. So this is a free course now, and you guys can take advantage of that. I hope I've answered this. So how do you do cloud integration, and after you course if any person like? So basically Kishore was asking, once I enroll in any kind of course, for example, if he enrolls into this course, and the question is, how do we would we get a support required for compiling errors, etc. And do we teach to set up in cloud? So Kishore, every course comes with a live trading template. It could be through a Python wrapper, it could be through API. So you can explore. It depends on the course, and also if you're facing any issues, definitely you can reach us out. You can reach us out through community. And not sure how many of you know about Quantra's community. So it is widely used and which is very active community of quant traders and learners. So you can definitely post your queries here, and it's very easy to use, and you would get a reply quickly. And any kind of errors or doubts, you can definitely post it in this community, and you can find it at quantra.quantinsti.com/community. So the next question is by Jacqueline. Can TradingView link to my IB? Can TradingView link to my IB account and have the algo hosted on their platform so that I don't need to have it running locally and handle the data feed? So with TradingView, if you want to link your IB account, yes, there is a way you can connect your brokerage account from TradingView. I'm sorry, brokerage account from Interactive Brokers, as you could see here. So once you have your strategy ready, you can actually log in from here itself. And once you log in, you can use Interactive Brokers platform to place your orders. So that can be done. And for more details, you can explore this, or you can also explore this particular page, which is explore supported brokers, where more information is given here. And if you whatever broker you want, if you want for trading Interactive Brokers, then you can go to this page and get all the information that you needed. So then next question would be Mr. Renato asks, what is the difference between IB TWS API and their classic API, and what's better? I mean, less constrained and more complete. So every API has their own limitations, and for example, there are, as we are discussing. So if it is a very classic API in the sense the API with all the methods, then you might have to. It's almost like you're programmatically accessing a trading platform. I'm sure, Renato, you would have seen TWS Traders Workstation, and whatever functions a trader workstation could do, an API by Interactive Brokers could do the same, but you might have to write the code from scratch to programmatically access it. But there are already customized APIs given by IB itself. A TWS API is one, which has certain methods already written for you. So that's the difference between different APIs given by Interactive Brokers. Viren asks, I'm sorry, Mr. Viren asks, is there any latency or connectivity difference in using broker API and third party? So when you're using broker API directly, see, when you're connecting any programmatic interface with broker, you connect through broker API. But if you use third party API, it reroutes through certain API of third party and then communicates using broker API. So essentially the latency is less when you use broker API, but again, you might have to check this by checking, like I can't tell you how much faster the broker API is, but it has their own pros and cons. So a third party might have functions already ready for you, which you need not code again, but broker API might not have the functions ready. You might have to write code from scratch. And for latency in general, brokers APIs are faster, but you might have to check it depending on the broker you selected. Madhumita asks difference between Python wrapper and broker API. So Madhumita, as I was saying, broker API would let you programmatically control the trading platform, and it wouldn't have any functions that are readily available. For example, if you remember, as you could see on the screen, if I have to get the information or data of euro, Australian dollar, I used a function that is copy rates from. This function is available in a Python wrapper of MT5, which is comfortable for me to use. But if I'm using API of MT5, which is Meta API, I wouldn't have this function. I might have to get the data, a raw data, and I have to resample it, etc. And I might have to code more because the functions are not readily available. So that's the difference between a broker API and a Python wrapper. And so it's another question on there is another question online. So as I was saying, you guys can go through this live trading page where for several brokers. So I've got a question on TD Emery trade. So you can find this. So you can use iBridge PY to automate. And in fact, for Robinhood also, you can use iBridge PY to automate. And if it is for Alpaca, and you can, there is also an Alpaca based API you can use. So Srinivas asks, I have an ICICI Demat account. Can that account be used for algo trading? So Srinivas, you can use ICICI Spring. So you can use ICICI Spring, and that can be used. This is an API. Spring is an API. So that API can be used. So just like we have Kite Connect for Zerodha, you can use ICICI Spring, and you can use it. And so you can also explore ICICI API. So for example, so that's called ICICI Breeze. So this particular API is similar to the Kite Connect API or MetaTrader 5 API we have seen. So you can go through this particular API, Breeze Trading API, check the documentation, and you can use it. Basically, you can use it for your trading. You can either use Breeze Trading API or you can use Breeze Connect, just like Kite Connect. So either you use this Python package or you can use the Breeze API. You have two options when you have ICICI. So then I think most of the questions are attended. And the next question is, which Python libraries are the best for backtesting and evaluating strategies? There is a question by Stephanie. There are certain standard libraries you can import, but it's better to uh, create your backtester by yourself. The advantage is you would have more control on the cases you would want to test when you're backtesting. And most of the backtesters has a limitation, the standard Python backtesters, where you can't backtest using intraday strategies, that there is a limitation. And also you can't introduce certain performance analysis when you are backtesting using a standard backtesting libraries. So that is the reason Shifania, I would recommend you to create your own backtesters, which would be more robust compared to any other backtesters you would see in the market. And you can also explore this course. There is a course called Backtesting Trading Strategies. So you can explore this course where different types of backtesting and the best practices to backtest. And also there are certain templates that were given in this particular course. Everything is done in Python, and it would also cover certain biases which are very important to consider when you're backtesting, or else it would not impact the performance. So this is a very good course which could help you to get your backtester by yourself. And
Varun, yeah, we have very limited time, and I think we are already over 5 minutes the schedule. So I would now like to thank you, obviously, for conducting this a wonderful session, and a big thank you to everyone who participated from across the globe. And in case I see that still we are getting a lot of questions, so in case there were any of your questions and doubts that remain unanswered, feel free to ask them in the webinar survey. And I would like to say that rest assured, all of your queries and questions will be answered by our team. They'll reach out to you and help them out. uh, I have also seen that many of the participants who are not able to attend this webinar. So as I mentioned in the starting of the session is recorded and is also available on our YouTube channel. So go to our YouTube channel and you can access the video recording then and there. With that said, thank you so much, Varun, again.
thank you. You're welcome.
And thank you to our audience. I will see you in our upcoming sessions soon. Have a great day ahead, everyone. Bye for now. Thank you.